Rush Hour, the hit movie from 1998 featuring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, is currently trending on the top 10 list of Netflix right now in 2023, David. What does this say about what people want to see from comedy nowadays?
Yeah, this is trending because there is a title, Andrew, going viral saying, Rush Hour fans celebrate the franchise's healthy racism. Now, this probably goes against the cancellation movements of the last 5-10 years, probably some of the, at least, racial wokeness of the past 5-10 years. Andrew, does it remind people of a time where maybe Americans were bonded by something beyond identities or racial identities?
No, for sure, man. I feel like Rush Hour is trending because people are nostalgic for this time where it felt like you were on a sports team together and you could tease each other and crack all these jokes, but at the end of the day, you were there to save the day or you were there to go to battle with each other. It's kind of like what I hear about people in the military. They crack really harsh jokes on each other, but it's also because you're gonna have to rely on each other and your life depends on it. So I guess, David, this is very interesting, but we're gonna delve into the comments section, so please hit that like button, check out other episodes of the Hot Pot Boys. And by the way, Rush Hour 4 is supposed to be in the works. I don't know what that means, but everybody's looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's get into the comments section. Somebody said, where are all the snowflakes that were saying they don't want to support Jackie Chan anymore because of the relationship with his daughter? Listen, guys, we don't care. It's your loss anyway. I'm watching this again and again on Netflix. What do you think about this? Because definitely Jackie Chan's image, you know, over the past 10, 15 years, it did take a couple hits, right? But some people are like, dude, it's Jackie. I don't care.
I think that it's so tough because I think everybody that is of a certain age or everybody's life, that if you dig into anybody's life, almost 90% of people's lives, are you going to find some things that make them look bad? Now, I'm not saying that everything that I think Jackie Chan is the greatest father or whatever thing like that, but I think when it comes to entertainment and how he makes you feel in his art and his performance, it's almost like they're bar none. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it's tough because entertainment is this thing where if you're affected by that person's media, you want to overlook that person's private life. Also, you don't know what's going on in the private life either, so it's just hard to judge.
Yeah, I want to kind of compare it to Prince Street Pizza, Andrew. There's this really famous place with the, you know, like the deep dish slice here in New York, and it's turned out the owners kind of said some borderline
racial
comments versus against an Asian guy, and I stopped going there for like a whole year. But after a year, they said that they, divested their ownership or whatever. Who knows? But, you know, I just thought about it. I was like, man, I really miss that deep dish pepperoni slice. So even me, bro, I just was just like, yo, listen, man.
Because there's something larger at play, man. This is why people love the Rush Hour comedies. This is why people love buddy comedies, because race is part of the joke, but there's still a larger goal that transcends the race.
Right. It's not the end all be all. It's almost like just filling in the middle because they're trying to save the world. They're trying to rescue Ty Mai's daughter and things like that. Somebody said, I've seen this at least 100 times. I'm pretty sure I quote this movie on a daily basis. I'm going to watch it over and over. Somebody said, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Somebody said just, oh my gosh, you know, when Chris Tucker's in China and he's doing the Michael Jackson impression for all the triads, it's hilarious. Do you think this was a lot of people's reference points? I know for me and you growing up, Andrew, in South Seattle, we did have a lot of African-American friends. Yeah. This got brought up quite often, and I will say this, in conversations with my black friends, it still might come up in the group chat.
No, it's still a good joke, man. It's still relevant because there has been nothing like it, especially using an Asian guy and a black guy, or an Asian person and a black person. To be honest, nothing has had the cultural impact like this. I mean, I would say anytime I'm on a team with a black person nowadays, you can almost say, like, make a Rush Hour joke.
Oh, it's never not getting a smile.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you had a pickup run, dude, you're in a league game together.
David, let me just go ahead and say this. This might be a strong statement. I feel like Rush Hour was the peak of black and Asian solidarity. Like, in a way, I know I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not. Like, it just felt like you could just bring it up as a uniting glue to different people when you saw them. And it was just like, yo, I see a black guy.
Because it kind of put everything out there, right?
Yeah.
It was
put
like, every stereotype out there. Jackie's making jokes about fried chicken and watermelon.
Yeah.
Chris Tucker's making jokes about this box of grease. You gonna send me a box of grease.
Yeah, and it was just, but they felt equal. I think the key is that when you're on a sports team, you're in the military, you're on a team together, and you have a larger goal, is that both people feel respected and the other person respects that person's work. Right? Now, if that thing is imbalanced, sure, then, you know, it can feel a different way. But, like, as long as both, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker both respected.
Yeah, somebody said everybody needs to have a relationship like Rush Hour, but instead right now, it feels like Black and Asians got nothing but hatred for each other.
Yo, and
this is crazy. First of all, I think that that's a little extreme, but I get what you mean in the sense that the relations between the two communities, and obviously everybody's an individual, right? Everybody who lives their own micro life. But I guess in a macro sense, Andrew, relations are a little rocky right now, right? With the whole affirmative action thing and everything.
I think it's tense, yeah, between affirmative action, what you see from Asian hate, and everybody tying everything together. Even people tying in things from Africa and Asia and all this other stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, but I think what people are like, man, like, I think there's a sense from people that are like, man, I get it. There's all these things you can pick apart from this media, this clip,
somebody who looked like me did something to somebody who looked like you, and somebody who looked like you did something to somebody who looked like me. Whether or not it was you or me, it was like people who looked like you or me, right? I
think the comedy in this Rush Hour just speaks to people's individual lives and just reaches the people. Like the people of like your life. Your life is about the Black person you know, about the Asian person you know. It's not about the Asian person in Asia or the Black person in Africa. It's like literally just we're here, we're trying to do something. And that's people miss that, like, I guess unity.
No, for sure. I mean, I remember growing up, I had my friend, Chris Fortson, Matt Johnson, shout out to them. And I always felt like our relationship was a little bit like Rush Hour. You know what I mean?
It was kind of catty.
Yeah.
Like
we would get at each other for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was still like bros. It wasn't like one side just taking all the jokes or the other one,
Dude, and you know what? I'll be honest. Like, even when I was on the sports teams with different types of guys, we would make a lot of racial jokes to each other, and they would get me pretty bad. And you could say, oh, well, Andrew, because that guy's white talking to you or that guy's Black talking to you, then you're kind of losing out on that.
Right. Even from my friends, I will say this, and some people are not going to take this right. Andrew, I'll take a small weenie joke. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll take it.
But I think what I'm saying is, like, even if you try to calculate it out, like, oh, he's got the upper hand 51% because he's like a light-skinned Black guy saying it to an Asian guy.
Right,
and I'm like,
gets way more girls or whatever.
But I'm just like, at the end of the day, at some point, it's your own life, and you just got to want to feel united with somebody. You want to feel that camaraderie. Like when we do comedy, we have a comedy show called Asianology. Next show is Tuesday, July 25th. We got Vince Chang, who's part Chinese Jamaican, and I think being able to riff with him and kind of joke on him about things, whether it's his Afro-Caribbean side or it's his Chinese side, and he gets to make fun of us back, it's like, you just feel like you're really bonding with each other.
Because you're talking about a subject that like people at work might get in trouble for joking about, but you guys are such good friends that there's that pathway open.
Right.
And shout out to Chris Fortson. I remember he used to always tell everybody that Danny Fortson was his uncle on the Sonics. Somebody said, can we just go back to this type of unity? I mean, the truth is, it's hard to say though, right? It's hard to achieve that because we were all growing up, we were the same age, same grade, all playing on the football team, all playing on the basketball team together. His mom and dad knew our mom and dad. They weren't like best friends, but they could speak English reasonably. You know what I mean? Our parents could speak English reasonably well enough with them. How do you get that feeling back? Because is it situational? Because not everybody's going to be in a military platoon with each other. Not everybody's going to be on the football or basketball team together trying to win the game.
I do think you have to team up with these people, man. You have to team up with different types of people, man. And I'm not saying it has to be a sport. It doesn't have to be a physical sport. Even if it's pickleball or
you mean an activity?
No, I think like even doing martial arts with different types of people, it just puts people at an equal playing field, and that's what I think is really missing right now. And I think that's what people talk about, this bond in America that's missing. And I think oftentimes it comes from like white people who are like, oh, white people are losing America. America was better when it was white. And I'm like, honestly, I think it's what you should say, which is a better sell to minorities, is that
even though they're not technically wrong based off
they're trying to make some sense, but I'm saying you should say that America was a lot better when we could bond over certain things, when we could bond over, like when we could all play games together, we could all eat at each other's restaurants, and when it wasn't all about identity.
Right. Do you think it was white people's job to give people something bigger than identity?
Man, I do think white people...
They are the system.
Yeah, I think white people made some mistakes along the road, but I mean, I don't think it's too late. Yeah. Guys, it's not forsaken. Let's go.
By the way, guys, I get it. I don't think it's easy to be, the system runner or whatever. Asians, we're like the lowest on the depth chart in terms of running the system. We would get put in last place, to be honest. Somebody just said they don't make comedies like anymore. It's too raw for cancel culture. Somebody would be offended by its lack of diversity, or that like they're both, it's a straight Black guy being friends with like a straight Asian
Right.
guy, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
they're both cops. Being a cop is problematic. Solving crimes, who knows? Like, is anything even gonna be okay anymore?
You know what it is? What I love is that I've saw some other comedies that are out, but it feels like sometimes the mission and the goal of the movie is something more frivolous that not everybody can agree on. Like when it comes to saving the minister's daughter or whoever the the ambassador's daughter, that's something that everyone can get around. Save this kid, save the child. Right? Yeah. But then sometimes it's like, yo, we got to throw this big party for my pride or like for myself, like my insecurities or whatever. Something like, you know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, that's the goal of the movie. And I don't think that always unites people as much as like saving the day.
Right. Big bomb strapped
right,
to the
exactly.
Eiffel Tower or whatever. And
like, I think when you see the other person save the other person's life, it means something different.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about people talking about the stereotypes? Somebody said, listen, there was a lot of stereotypes in the movie. I get it. Everybody's real sensitive about that stuff now, but it's just supposed to be funny. It's not really like based in full reality.
Yeah, I think the only issue people would see is like, oh, well, what if the same jokes are made? I'm like, what are you there's different jokes to make, but yeah, some of the stereotypes are still sticking around, guys. It's only been like less than 30 years.
It's been like 20 years.
20 some years, 25 years. I think there's comments about cancel culture. That's why because cancel culture exists. That's why there couldn't be movies like this anymore. I think do you think that's true?
Man, I do think the jokes are going to be toned down. Like, they're not going to be, maybe they'll be quippier or wittier in another way in Rush Hour 4, because that's like, I think it's for sure going to happen. But it's just going to be different. It's going to be different, but I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still going to watch it.
You know what I think? I think they should swing for it and just get in trouble for it.
Right.
Because that's going to make people want to watch it more than if they tone back the script and then there's nothing good about it, that's going to make it worse. So I think they should throw in some tough jabs in there. I really think so. And I think they should go as hard because I think here's the thing about like, I think most people agree, listen, there's groups in America that need help and that should deserve help because history has done them wrong and all this wokeness and all this stuff. But I think at the end of the day, people were like, man, being too woke is getting in the way of fun. And America's about fun.
You're saying overriding everything else, being a very progressive, fast-moving society, dynamic, fast-changing landscape that America is. I'd say faster than any other country because it's obviously like the most newest, craziest experiment of a country. You're saying it's still, at the end of the day, once the wokeness hit like an 8 out of 10, it was like, it really wasn't fun anymore.
Bro, people want to go back to fun. Think about it. This is such a fun country. We got drugs. We got cars. We got guns. You can buy guns. You can have sex, do all this stuff.
And everybody has a lot of money.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of this stuff. Not just a little bit. You can get a lot of this stuff.
An unlimited amount, depending on what you
the
want
country
to do.
is so fun. America is all about freedom and fun. And I think that a lot of people feel like, and a lot of people even low-key feel like, that all that stuff got in the way of American fun. And at the end of it all, I think America likes to have fun. Maybe you could ask me, maybe too much fun sometimes.
Yeah.
But
the Rush Hour movies fit in with that fun. Those are fun movies.
Dude, America's about fun, guys. You know it. You know what I'm saying.
For me, one thing I would have never said is like, I know our dad kind of acts a little bit like Jackie Chan. And his voice sounds like Jackie Chan too, because obviously Jackie Chan's from Hong Kong. Our dad is from Hong Kong. So I have people in my family, and it's certainly, if not people in my direct family, people that I've been around in restaurants, et cetera, just all these settings that I found my life in due to our upbringing. I mean, I was always cool with it, man. Because I was like, sometimes you got to be able to talk about the differences in culture, Yeah. Like, dude, everybody's different, man.
Get on a team with someone. I think that's the best way. Just get on a team. Anyways, guys, you guys let us know about the Rush Hour movies, why that's trending top 10. Are you going to watch it on Netflix? I don't know.
Man, I might just throw it on right now.
You might just throw it on for the vibes.
Yeah,
all right, everybody.
Just on mute.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And until next time, we out.
Peace.